much different now that Salvador Dali's died away. I haven't got a steady job, and I still got no place to stay. It's a futuristic modern world, but things aren't what they seem. Someday, y'all better wake up from this stupid fantasy. Come on, bloodstains, speed kills, fast cars, deep bills, rich girls. Find why I lost my sense, I lost control, I lost my mind.
Welcome to the good men of the chat. That was a little Agent Orange, if anyone knows their punk rock. Radical Rafter, BJ, Christian, Char, PH63, Rusty Rivers. Looking for the Swamp Monster out there, huh? Good to see Rusty. Bookshelf. I Renegade is back. Funny, I was laying back, staring at the ceiling, thinking about life, and I get a ping for Rad's stream. We have to be very grateful for, even though the commie YouTube that censors everything, we're able to chat. So this is probably the biggest pedestal that one needs to, or step that one needs to understand: loneliness. What makes people feel lonely? It's not a thing. It's not a house. It's not a car. It's not a bicycle. It's a person. Programming has said if you're not being validated by other people, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. If you don't have a woman, something's wrong with you. So you feel lonely. Oh, I'm lonely. I don't have a woman. Something's wrong with me. I need to be validated by a woman. I need people to tell me that I'm good, that I can exist. The existence thing is huge, right? You want validation of your existence. Now, this is the biggest issue for men in this space that are going through a breakup. I understand it, been through it. How to understand what loneliness is, truly is. JC from Texas, good to see you, brother. The reality is this. We have to figure out what the foundation of not being lonely is. Loneliness is, again, seeking external validation from another person, typically in this case, a woman. There's tons of videos on YouTube. Good to see Tayem Mountain Monk in the house. There's tons of videos out there of men, 40-year-old men. I've seen tons of them that just pop up my feed. I'm lonely. I have no friends. I have no woman. I'm very lonely. Well, you have yourself. And this is the biggest issue one must get over. Nobody will make you happy. Nobody will make you feel less lonely. If you think that if you could be next to somebody with a heartbeat, doesn't speak, doesn't talk, doesn't care about you, and you feel less lonely, there's something wrong with you. That's how most marriages are. She only talks to you when she needs something, typically, 98%. We do get a 1% to 2% out there of women that are absolutely probably decent, but they're still female nature. So men must understand what causes loneliness. I get emails all the time. I get lots of questions in the chat. Hey, Rad, how do you get over loneliness? In the mirror. That's how you get over loneliness. You look at the mirror and you say, good to see Seraphim. I have the penis. Shout out to Big John. You look in the mirror and you say, I am the only one that can make me feel better about myself. Nobody else. There is nobody else. Maybe your mom could just give you, I love you, son, whatever. That's fine. But in the end, that doesn't cure really anything. Right? If you were that lonely, you'd live with your parents. But, most men don't. I am John. Good to see you, brother. Back in the chat again. So talk to me, man. What makes you feel less lonely? We'll get into it. Man, it's Roy from Mumbai. Good to talk to you. I talked to a man today in India, and he read my little booklet that I wrote back when, and he said, man, this has really helped me. It's given you the power back to you. The power is in you to be content or to have peace, quiet, and freedom. Man, it's Roy. Only myself can make me happy. Well said, brother. That is it. A woman cannot make you happy. A woman cannot make you feel less lonely or more, less lonely. Maybe friends are a good thing, but at the end of the day, you go home, you're not intimate with your friends. You hang out, you watch a show, and you go back to your house. So the person that makes you feel less lonely is the one that stares back at you in the mirror. Now, how do you do that? You have to find out who you are again. Who are we? Or who do you want to be? And there's so many men that will not understand this. They will go back, they will find a relationship, because I know so many of my brothers, my friends that have remarried because, oh, she's amazing. They always say she's in a wall. But in the end, they don't want to be alone. If men truly are going to digest this, good to see Riggs, they're going to have to understand something. 98% of your life is by yourself. The other 2% is you growing up and maybe a marriage or whatnot. That's it. PH 63, never lonelier for men than in a bad marriage. Well said, brother. Lots of lonely men in marriage. Just go out, go to a restaurant on a Friday or Saturday night. Look at all the men looking at their phones and women looking at their phones. Do you think they're really? No, it's almost as though it's like a codependent thing. Oh, she's with me. I guess I'm not lonely because she's with me and vice versa. Rick says most women make my life hard and not my dong. Well, you have to understand what brings peace, quiet, and freedom. Good to see Wolf back in the house. She's got a busy night tonight upstairs. Man, who's Roy friend still doesn't make me happy until we both have a common goal. We both are reaching to that goal together. Yeah, I think you hit it on the head, man, Roy. The reality is when you have a common goal, you're doing something, you have a purpose, and you are sharing it with other men or other people. But even if two or three of those men dropped out of what you were doing, you'd still want to fulfill your purpose. So in the end, did those men help you feel less lonely? No, because you were on purpose doing something. Most men begin to feel lonely when they have nothing going on in their life. If they're not, they might be coming out of it. Look, Rad, I had to figure out that first night leaving that house. Actually, the 6 months before that, I had to start figuring out life. I mean, our marriage completely dissolved. We were still living under the same roof. She moved. I kicked her out to the basement. It was very odd. So there was a, that whole weirdness. Hey, Rad's felt lonely before. And then I realized what loneliness is. Loneliness is me giving my power away to somebody else. That whatever, right? Thanks for putting Gone with John's up there. Good man, Char. Thanks for doing that. Polska's back. Referencing, I got to play the Dead Milkman one day for you. Wolf says, you either swim in and with the river of life and you're living. You are fine. Once you remove yourself from it, then you are off the golden harmony. Wish more people understood that, Wolf. Any suggestions on paying for a lay and staying safe as far as the law? I get lonely that way at times and got to get the poison out of someone real and don't feel like you just be safe. What would I tell you? Sugar babies, maybe. But there's always a risk and a reward to that. Fear of loneliness is what stops men filing for divorce. Well said, brother. Well said. Jawara is back. Shout out to Jawara. But that truly is the reality. Once you take the power back from any person or circumstance and you give it back to yourself, you're in control. But most men won't. Most men need someone to pat them on the head. You're a good man. Thanks for taking care of us. You're a good man. You're attractive. How come no one has gotten with you? I think that is the biggest piece. Even when people that say, you know what, I've taken the red pill. I just feel life sucks now. Why does life suck? Because the programming fucked you up? Sure, it fucks everybody up. You got to realize that the programming will eventually, once you accept it and understand it, You can have a good life. Well said, Wolf. You have to live like the man with the golden PP. iRenegade says, I happier when I'm chasing my life goals and objectives. At times I'm hindered by the desire of romance and love. And I shake it. Well, I think that's always going to be the case with men. The curiosity piece, it's just how we're wired. But once we understand what is under their biology, their physical biology, we realize, hey, if I'm going to put my purpose into taking care of someone, that means I'm not taking care of myself. JC, I've never been lonely. Way too many interests to feel lonely. Feeling hurt is another category. I agree. Keep your power. Well said, brother. As long you do the things that bring you happiness. Most men can't get off the couch. We have multiple stories of men that have literally changed their lives by listening to these channels, by listening to this content of different creators that said, you know what? Fuck, I'm going to take an 8-hour road trip. And they come back and they're like, holy shit, I did something. I pushed myself. I challenged myself. I took a risk. And they build upon that confidence of life that they can do something. They got to get off the couch. They got to open that front door or the garage and get the hell out. You start little. So if any man is suffering from loneliness, you start little. You take different routes around. You see new environments. You go to a bar by yourself. You don't have to drink. Watch a sports game. Have a hamburger. Eat. Speak to the bartender. And then leave and do it again at another place. And begin to build confidence by being alone. Joara says pay to play. Yep, I agree. I was tried to drag to get married. My father tried to drag me into it until his deceiving intent was raised. Most parents want their kids married. Just it's programming. You know, that's all it is. They want grandkids. They think that it'll bring happiness and purpose, whatever. We know different. Most men would be in a really terrible marriage than facing being on their own. Truth. I'm going to say the percentage of men in that category is 99.9% of married men. Watch the Adam Ant documentary. Interesting guy, had head issues, single mom upbringing. Interesting. Goody two shoes for 300 Trebek. I do like Adam Ant. And then he came out in the early 90s with that Wonderful. Remember that song? You're wonderful. That was a good song, actually. I get lonely when I indulge. Any thoughts on the fantasy I had in my ex-marriage? Programming reemergence is a loneliness trigger for me. And I think when a man feels lonely, and I'm not saying it goes away, but once you accept it and you realize when you feel those feelings of, hey, no one's around me or whatever, you got to snap out of it and say, wait, I've given my power away to somebody else that could potentially damage 100 times more. Let me get back to the mirror. Let me grab my penis. I have the penis. I'm a man. I'm on purpose. Go from there. 3 weeks ago, I got bit by a tick. I left the bullseye rash, got put on whatever that is for that. No, this morning I was making a delivery. Somebody's dog bit me. It's not my mouth. Jeez, brother. Hang in there. Those animals, creatures want to bite you. They're trying to tell you something. The universe is trying to tell you something, I am John. You're powerful. Mysterio from Winnipeg. Good to see you, brother. I have no loneliness problems, yet I still desire physical affection from a woman. That's okay. I have yet to overcome that. I think if any man denies that they would want to have physical connection, most men, there's a lot of guys in our space that don't want to be around ladies, totally get it. But I think there's still a desire for intimacy with a woman. That's just how we're wired. That's okay. But when you snap out of it and realize, if I find intimacy with a gal, what does that mean? For me, for her, for it. If it's one and done, fine. But that's okay to feel that way. There's nothing wrong with feeling that way. How do we process it? JR's back. Good to see you. One mighty and strong. I'm an only child. Of course, I have a handful of lifelong friends, but I absolutely cherish my solitude. So peaceful. Maybe that what your upbringing. I got a couple people I know that were single kids, and they seem to be pretty well adjusted in terms of being by themselves. I grew up with 6 kids. There are 6 kids in my family. I'm the second out of 6. So we had a lot of, but I didn't even like being around. I just like skateboarding with other people that like skateboarding. who I called my friends at the time. But we had a common goal and interest. We skateboarded. If we didn't skateboard, we probably wouldn't be friends. Having good friends like brothers is awesome, even just one. Sure. You can count on your hands how many good friends you will have in your life. I will share you the video of my project. Oh, I'd like to see it. The most painful loneliness is being without your kids after divorce. I'm glad you said that. That was actually one of my topics. Absolutely. I mean, not being with your kids when they need their father the most, and when you love them, is a very, very difficult place to be. That is a different type of feeling lonely. That is, it's almost as though they imprisoned our feelings, and we can't express them to the loved ones that we love the most, which is our offspring, which is our blood, our blood children. And that is difficult. I have been there, and it sucks. But now I realize that I did the best that I could with given the court outcome 50-50, and I was there for them, and I took care of them the best that I could, and I told them every day I loved them, and I had to accept it. I had to accept 50-50. But I saw them a lot. I mean, I'd see them at basketball games. If I didn't have them, I would be in the crowd and watching them, and I went to every single one of their games. I did as much as I could. But those nights are rough. So, Rad, you and Cruz have the same arc with your daughters? Probably. But you can't, once a daughter goes through her puberty phase, it's over for most men, especially today. FJT is back. It's a pet peeve. People protect their loneliness. When they project their loneliness onto me, they tell me life isn't complete without a lady. I feel like an alien because I'm never lonely. I've been single by choice for 7 years. Well, you took the power back. You realize, what does somebody bring to your life? You travel by yourself, FJT. You love it. You don't need someone to go with to make you feel validated. Oh, I'm traveling, but I don't go by myself. Traveling by myself is one of my favorite things to do. That's a good question, Mr. Who knows? I haven't talked to her for over a year. I'm not too worried about it. This is just logistics. Being repressed growing for me was shit. I had no relationship with my dad, so I was stuck in the I must be obedient, always stuckness. I never want to go back to that. As a creative man, even a bish. Even with my skateboard friends, I felt like an outsider. I mean, literally, all my friends growing up skateboarding, I don't even talk to them anymore. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Most of my friends are from my freshman year in high school. I had a really good friend, but I tried reaching out to him multiple times, called his mom and everything. They didn't call me back. So, again, those guys that I grew up skateboarding with. We had our own skateboard team. We just don't. None of us kept in touch. We had a similar purpose. We had a similar hobby. And after people went their own ways, it is what it is. Loneliness is probably a mind and body that's not busy enough. Oh, well said, brother. That's a great quote. My oldest daughter, 18, has turned on me now. She was my girl when she was little, just like me. Before the divorce, my youngest 13 has maintained her daddy-daughter relationship. Well, that's good. There's typically, if there's a handful of daughters, let's say there's two or three daughters, one of them will pull to the dad. It's pretty normal. Like psychology is family psychology. It basically does that. Even with 6 kids, 4 out of the 6 will side with the mom. Look at Brad Pitt's marriage right now. His kids are changing their name to the Jolie. Crazy. But Bija, I hear you, brother. I feel free as a bird. It's incredible. Attaboy. Jim King is back. Good to see you again, Mr. Jim King. Solo traveling is amazing. I meet cool people. Then I decide if I want to hang out with them or not. I make my own rules. Attaboy. Free agent lifestyle. As Greg Adams talks about. That is a reality. Having peace, quiet, and freedom. Is happiness really? I would rather have peace, quiet, and freedom than happiness. I think happiness is a derivative of peace, quiet, freedom. You're content. Life is good. You're doing the things that bring you peace, which is calm. It's a positive feeling. I think happiness is overrated. If that's all you're seeking in life, I think that's the programming. Seek happiness. Get more money. You'll be happier. Get a wife. You'll be happier. Have kids. You'll be happier. Really? Why don't you seek peace, quiet, and freedom? And then those derivatives of calm, joy, contentment begin to flourish. There's Gone with John's channel. He's struck for another few days. Big world, humans are social animals. We're wired to live in social groups. Sure, we're socially grouping right now, actually. We come to these channels to talk about our experiences in life, and it's great to connect with other men. There are women that listen to this for their boys. Lisa Smith has 2 boys. She's worried about the women out there that could destroy her kids' lives. There's a couple women in Mexico. There's all sorts of people that listen, but I agree with that statement. And so, but if you have to include people in your life to make you have peace, quiet, and freedom, that's the issue we're talking about. But well said, big world. I have nephews I used to be hella close with, and they're completely drifted and their wives warp their mind and turn them against our side of the family. There you go. Happens all the time. Both my girls are distant, the boys close, even though I give them all the same love. It's the way it is, guys. Absolutely. They're going to pull to the mom. I didn't like the art circles much, and the angry working class immigrants around me was quagmire. I bet, Wolf. Nick Vincent from the UK, out on a cycle ride, break stop. Good to have you. Got to send me a picture. Some of those country roads in England or the UK. Fun fact, if you're a Norwegian citizen, you get a girl in a foreign country, prego. The state will ask them to come to Norway to take a DNA. Ooh, interesting. They've caught on. There you go, lifelong friends in the Navy. And I would say my Navy was my freshman year. I still am very tight with a lot of my friends from when I was 18. Mr. Hemi is back. Good to see you. Mysterio asks a very interesting question here. I wonder if the desire for physical affection is encoded in our... I think so. Look, I'm not saying go be a lone survivor out there. I think being around people and just meeting new types of people, learning different cultures, experiencing their perspectives. But if you're using those perspectives in that culture to make you feel better as an antidote, then that's the issue. Make yourself feel better in the beginning, and those experiences will be that much more sweeter. But I think you're right, Mysterio. Right on. I think it's encoded in me. Monk Dhamma allows a man to build and run his life exactly as he sees fit, with very few adjustments necessary. Detox, well said. And we love the monks. Monks are great, man. They're busy. They're happy, or they're having peace, quiet, and freedom. They're experiencing moments of contentment, joy. They've realized, you know what? I don't want to be associated with females. I might have to work with them, but I don't want female friends. I don't want female partners in terms of, I just don't want that crap. It doesn't, in the end, doesn't bring peace, quiet, and freedom. I get it. Men are the best and most loyal friends for other men. Well said. Well said, brother. Right after I graduated, I used to be in the deepest depression after that girl broke my heart, NYC. Caught her with a guy on the street. I blame myself. And I had my heart broken when I was 15 years old. My senior girlfriend moved and didn't even tell me. I got ghosted at 15 in 1987, 86, 87. Yeah, 87. I was turning 15 that year. Oh, it sucked. When you're taking the red pill, you can become very self-deleting, and you have to accept loneliness. It's tough in the beginning, but it's actually freedom within. Yeah, well said, Christian. Well said, brother. Travel broadens the mind, especially Southeast Asia. I want to go see Vietnam and Thailand. I'm in a beachside town in Gimli, Manitoba. Gimli, Manitoba. You speaking French out there, Mysterio? I was forced to be a monk for a decade while surviving to live after getting poisoned by blank and company. You get stronger. That's real. At the end of the day, you have to take your power back from the people you gave it to, whether that be an ex, if you're still with somebody, even circumstances. Bring your power back. You have the power now to change whatever circumstance you came through. Not changing it specifically, but understanding it differently, and then creating a life outside of that, which empowers you to become even that much, more amazing. So it is what it is. We go through experiences in life that make us stronger or weaker. Choose what you're gonna do. And most men will go through a divorce or a breakup, and it'll weaken them. They'll run back to the same one, different girl, same girl, different name, different haircut. That's what happens. But they're weaker. This time they're weaker, not stronger. They didn't leave that and say, man, what did I do wrong? I need to understand my position. I need to understand what women truly are like, what their nature is, why it doesn't work the majority of the time. But no, they run back, weaken positions. Big World, why did the millionaire Fandango? It's a great question. He started a company called R1, which is in the healthcare space. I actually competed against them. Then he went to Fandango. I thought that was very interesting. Made a lot of money on this R1 revenue cycle. Then he went to Fandango. I think in the end, there could be a bunch of things. Relationship issues with his wife, if he was married or had a girlfriend. I don't know if the money, I have a hard time believing that the money is going to cause someone to kill themselves. Could be. But in this case, the guy built multiple businesses. He could do it again. So who knows? Great question, though. We need to be alone to recuperate. Well said, Mega. 2 years after breakup, you'll be a different man if you can stay single and research. Mm-hmm. Truth, Nick. The lessons I've learned from rejection struck hard and struck deep. You learn from them. Strengthened you. I can relate, Rad. Had my first heartbreak at 12. My crush gave me her number just to have her brother cuss me out on the phone. And the next day she clowned me in front of him. You know what? Rite of passage. That's all it is. It's rite of passage. Being red pill, I can see how in the past I was actually very lonely as a nice guy. I have some pain still sometimes, but what I have now is real. That feels good. 100%. I mean, we've all been through it. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I just realized that for me, it made sense when I realized I was giving my power away to a person to basically put me in the palm of their hand. And I don't want that. I want the power in me. I'm in control. Because when you give somebody control of your life, yeah, it doesn't end well, guys. Lots of women call men stalkers or creepy. Meryl is still insulting him because of female hypergamy. Mountain Monk says I was loneliness while I was married. Yeah. I mean, I think men get lonely in marriage, lack of attention on both sides, but I think at the end, the purpose is different. The purpose that you have in life and that you want to experience does not align with her purpose, which is to spend money and to look younger. You want to go out and do things. I remember I wanted to ride a motorcycle when the kids grew up across the United States, take a month to do it or 6 weeks. She said, that would be miserable. I'll just meet you in Austin or wherever. That's not the point of it. The point of it is to be together and experience something together. But it is what it is. I accept it now. There you go, Christian. You miss any puss, Rad? No. I miss the big booty Cuban. I mean, look, I'm a biological male. I love my biology. I have testosterone. I like to experience that. I'm not a monk. But I don't let it run me. As we get older and wiser, we soon realize that cohabitation is a joke. Absolutely. I will never live with, the only people I'll live with would be my sons if they needed to stay with me. That's it. I wouldn't, and then I'd kick them out if they're being lazy. Even Chad and Tyrone's reach a sad part because they are no longer Chad. Absolutely. Absolutely. All that Chad and Tyrone does is get in the front of the line while you're in the middle of the end. Take away the kitty, and do you still want to get exactly, Nick? I said that to my boys. If you remove their beauty and their vagina and their breasts, what does she bring to the table? And that's a legitimate question. Could be companionship, friendship, intellectual stimulation. Who knows? But I doubt that. Most men are in it for the physical. FJT, I was most lonely in relationships. There you go. You're a good boy, FJT. Thanks for sending me that good morning text. Mountain Monk ended up sleeping next to a stranger. Yep, I found out I didn't even know the person I was married to for 20 years. I've had 10 years of not being in a serious relationship after my divorce. I know what power and leverage is now. I might have another relationship, but will never make the same mistakes. No marriage, no cohabitation, no kids. Step or new kids. Well said, PH63. Johara is trying to be monk. Good for you. I've always preferred living alone. I would feel bad for anybody that lived with me. I'm just set in my ways. They couldn't last 2 hours living with me. The other day I was having a chat with a 40-year-old blue pillar. He told me a real man takes care of a woman in his life. You know what you tell him? You know, you're taking care of your lady. I renegade. Tell him this. You're taking care of your lady. Go get her an Eat, Pray, Love shirt. Or Live, Laugh, Love, or whatever the hell that shit is. That is a guy that, again, has given all of his power to a relationship, which is basically a label. I'm a boyfriend. I'm a fiance. I'm a husband. And to the woman. I've always had no problem being alone. It's a great feeling to have. Well said, Mega. After all that shit I lived through, I'm almost flew to Bhutan to be a Buddhist monk. I want to go hike that Bhutan, check out that monastery on the side of the mountain. That looks pretty cool. As a space cadet, creative dreamer, I even have trouble falling asleep next to a puss in bed. I could not sleep with my ex-wife. I have very difficult time unless I've had a few glasses of wine or something. I cannot. I have to stretch out. I need my space. Get away. And I couldn't sleep with her either, my ex-wife. The first couple of years, yeah, but when the kids came, she would sleep on the couch, or it was very difficult. Will we check out Dad? We might, Mysterio. My son, my 23-year-old came over yesterday. I'll see my 19-year-old tomorrow. I'm going to go say hi to him where he works. But I'm more of an introvert anyways. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert. Introvert's actually a good thing. You like being alone. Your comments are getting iced again. Probably the algorithm. I dig being monk and being alone, says BJ. Nothing wrong with that. Wolverine is out. Hugh Jackman. Once you can free yourself from seeking validation from a female, you're all good. Difficult, but can be done. And when you do, you're automatically more. Yeah, exactly. There's something within the ethers of the universe. When you don't give a damn anymore, they want you even more. But it's because you have options. Women has no power over a man if he has options. If he has no options, they got him hook, line, and sinker. Big world, it takes a real man to step up to the plate to be a good husband. Oh, good for you. Seraphim, going back, monk mode was the best decision in my life. We got lots of monks in here. So was Mr. 20-year-old a loner? It's that dangerous on some level. Who's the 20-year-old? These boomer cucks I grew up around, jealous that I was single yet pushing me into marriage like my dad. It's just programming. Yeah, YouTube is definitely, it's coming down. I mean, they just struck Gone with John. He's pretty tame. You blew it with that girl. Ask FJT about his dad. His dad's looking at FJT as the wise man now. Jackman divorced his older wife last year. Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, she wasn't very attractive. Wolverine sideburns. The old pork chops. I do feel lied to by society. I got almost no advice or warning before I got married. I thought I was playing safe by getting married, when in fact marriage is incredibly risky and not for all men. I think marriage would be good for rich people that maintain separate, and they do it for tax reasons. Mr. 20 was a marked man last weekend. Mr. 20 was a marked man. Oh, I see what you mean. Right. Let me go back to that question. I believe so. Incel. Yes. Yes. Mr. 20 was an incel raised by two therapist parents. I mean, all the workings of a weakened, lack of testosterone, angry, lonely person. And you're going to see more of them. You're going to see more of them in normal, they're going to go into schools and things like that, and businesses, and project their emotions through a physical apparatus on people that they don't know. Check out Trump's song called Many Men. It's epic. Yep. Mr. 20 was put in a place by the... Yeah, I mean, they're saying there's a second Mr. 20 that was there. There's too many weird things that happened. There's too many weird things. Hammer did a good overview on it. I mean, look, the deep state is real. The deep state's been around since George Washington. I mean, who took out Abraham Lincoln? The deep state. My mother kept pushing me to find a wife and have kids, so I asked her, are you going to pay for my divorce, alimony, and child support? She said, no, it's your life. Attaboy, Riggs. Way to push back. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, thanks for doing that, Mr. Somebody told me I need a girlfriend to take me to the next level. I said, I'm healthy with a paid-off house, zero debt, can travel anywhere, and a credit score over 800. Peace of mind, nah, I'm okay. NPC, right, FJT? A lot of the guys I see in couples out and about are walking along, not holding hands with tubby, overweight women. No thanks. Very few people are happy. I just don't understand it. Yep, unattractive and selling angry at the world. Yep. Well said, Mr. 20. That's him, JC. He is an inseller. My question to you is, how do older men prevent young boys from becoming incels? It's going to be, it's tough right now. Hopefully they find these channels. Be an example, big world, to younger men. No grandkids for you, attaboy. My ex-wife pretending I never existed to my kids really upsets me. I think this is a common and very sad. Does make me feel isolated. I'm going to go back to Big World's comment. Well said, PH. But a lot of these boys today are becoming more conservative, where the women their ages are becoming more liberal and clown world. So a strong man that sees a couple, this is what I do, not to be confused with Rev. Well said. My name is Mud. Shout out. What I do. Well said. My name is Mud. Yeah, he probably knew he was going out. I might go to the grocery store on a Friday at 5 o'clock. I'll see 4 or 5 skateboarders, and I'll grab their board. I'll go, do me a kickflip. I'm gonna see a shove it. I'll talk their language. And I'm like, dude, I'm in my 50s. I've been skateboarding since I was 13, so we connect. And I'm like, you guys need to be strong. You remember those girls, or you don't get with girls, and you skate. You do the things that make you happy. So I go off like that. I remember this one guy. He every time he sees me, I don't even know his name. He's like, hey, coach, thanks for coaching me. And I've lived here almost in this house, over 5.5 years. So I would go to the store, and I'll see him in the parking lot. They'll be skateboarding or curb, and I just go up to him like, let me see that board. And I'll do a shove it for him, which is one of my easy trick. And so, oh my gosh, this guy's real. He's in his 50s. I go, yeah. Show him a couple pictures of me skateboarding a ramp. And they instantly, they'll listen to me. And I said, listen, guys, I'm not your dad, and I hope you have dads. But in the end, your power is your power. Don't give it away to a woman. And don't knock a girl up. That's what I do. Divorce is an ever-present specter on a man's life. If he marries, it's a wound. It's a wound. R.I.P. to him as well, brother. R.I.P. to MGTOW Life, to Seafood Black Irish, to Frank, to Vention, to all the good men. I never understood this Spetnek. He's quite intellectual, Wolf, quite intellectual. He helped me a lot too. I think the younger guys are waking up to female nature faster than we ever did. Absolutely. Because they're realizing these women their age, they want money and millions of dollars. These kids don't have it. If your ex is not respecting you and she has the custody of the kid, what makes you think this relationship is going to go anywhere? Well said. Do you think it should be mandatory for all male? I think that would be a good thing. Wrestling or martial arts or boxing. Something with aggression in it. Did you ever try to tell your ex that we love each other and our children? Did that ever? Nah, they don't listen to anything. They don't listen to anything, Kristen. I buried her father. You think she listened to me after that? I never free-balled a bish. I was always paranoid. Good for you. Realistically, most men now will be married and divorced several times in their life. Sure. PH, absolutely. Yeah, big world. Mormons, morgbots, mortards, if you want to call them. Yeah, you know, that's my legacy. That's my bloodline. But yeah, the church has a pretty strong pulse. You're seeing more young millennials and Gen Z, you know, accepting Skittles world. But for the most part, it'll probably stay this way for another 10, 15 years, I'm assuming. Paul Thomas and Prawn. Rich is back. Good to see you. I have 3 friends, me, myself, and I. Attaboy, you got more than most guys. Most guys can't, they don't have themselves. They're too afraid to be by themselves. Loneliness is a derivative of giving power to people. That's all it is. There is no cure for it until you accept that you have the power, that people will let you down. I did a video, a live stream. Betrayal does not come from your enemies. It comes from those you care about the most. Right? That's a cold, hard truth. So you have to be strong enough. This is why most people get in relationships retardedly, because they think the other person's going to fix them. Rad did it. Oh man, you know, I'm graduated. She's graduated. We want a family. She's going to fix all my my issues, insecurities, weaknesses. I'm going to fix hers. We're going to live happily ever after. No, you should be fixed yourself before you start having friends. Be confident in losing anything. Kevin Durant said he doesn't want a girlfriend, and the host of the podcast basically said, you've been hurt. Who hurt you? You got to find, oh yeah, it's just programming, FJT. Shout out for Rad, who was there when I needed someone to talk to. Attaboy, PH. So many men don't learn and jump right back in. No, they don't. They don't. A man that jumps back in a relationship is a weakened man. He's in a weakened state. A man that takes time off to realize what the hell went wrong and who is he will probably make a very different decision. Probably staying single, especially if he's older, if he's coming out of a divorce. Why are so many of the same women still making videos, still on these dating sites after 8 years? They're still not with a man. Because men, for the most part, many of them have woken up. They don't want to marry him. They might get in a relationship, but they don't want to marry him. What the headlines? Newspaper, women aren't having babies, dropped to an all-time low. What they refuse to say is why. Yeah, it's everywhere. Fall of society. I miss my rock and roll vintage vinyl. You expect betrayal from enemies. Exactly. But they come from the ones you care about the most. Big World says Catholics don't get divorced. They changed that though, like 10 or 12 years ago. If you got divorced because you were unhappy or you didn't learn to get along, you got excommunicated because it's so difficult. I've been to a Catholic wedding. God dang, they're long. But to get married by a Catholic priest, you have to go through massive amounts of training and instruction and therapy and whatever with the priest and your fiance. It's a big deal to get married, but I know they've lessened it now quite a bit. But most Catholics will not get married based on that if they were married in the Catholic Church. My buddy is Catholic, married. It's infidelity. They hate each other, but they're not getting divorced because they're Catholic. Maybe down the road when they're both single or when empty nesters. They never mention The elephant in the room. CJ's back. Friends are for losers. Catholics don't get divorced. Well, they used to not. That was a very difficult thing. Go read about it and go to a Catholic wedding. It's a big thing to get married. You can get excommunicated. I think the only way they would allow divorces is like massive physical, bumping of body parts, or a very dangerous living situation like a drug dealer or something, or graping. Sounds old fogey, but dude, I don't know what you're saying there, brother. Young women these days need to work to the good age of 88. Thank you, ladies. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. There you go. Pearly still holding out on her on her 9-figure man. Does anybody find her attractive? Because it's a sacrament. There you go. Yeah, it's a big deal. Most Christian religions, I'm thinking the Amish, they don't allow divorce. When girls have 100 Ds at their fingertips, it's hard to find one that wouldn't just replace you. Exactly. Guy, if you understand that women have so many options, the moment they don't like you, they got 10 other guys. It's not the same church. Well said, bookshelf. They have definitely gone a different direction. Females are delusional. They expect men to marry them in their 30s. After that, they let many, 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 many men. There you go. Catholics do get divorced, but cannot remarry. Yep, something like that. It's very difficult. One and done. Catholic Church is a real deal, once and all. I've been to a Catholic church in Guatemala that was from the 1300s, and they had old garments of the priests. It was so wacko. Yeah, they're gonna shame Durant. Listening to some vinyl, drinking Strohs. I haven't heard Strohs for a long time. There's Gone with Johns. Appreciate that, Char, putting that up. Char from Deutschland. Ich liebe dich. Want to live in a normal, traditional place? Move to Utah. It's becoming a lot different now. It's very homogenous out here. It's very, very, they don't like spicy food. They don't like a lot of culture food. They like meat and potatoes. They love to go to Disneyland too. Pearly looks like, I don't think she's attractive at all. Where does she get her, she's got no experience, no marriage, no kids. She's just, again, a talking head. Vatican II is a completely different religion. Interesting. I don't know much about Catholics. I mean, I know where they started from, and kind of some of their beliefs, but not a lot. Skinner on a Sunday afternoon swapping fishing stories. There you go. Leonard Skinner for 300. Catholic churches out west are dope. I dig the Spanish architect. Oh yeah, I've been to a lot of them. The oldest ones I saw were in Guatemala, Colombia, 1500. Latin cultures are extremely religious people. Now, what they do, there's a lot of cheaters as well, but they love their religion. Latin Mass and powerful blessings. Yep, they go to in Latin, in Spanish, it's called el cura. ELCURA for the priest. I'm going to see el cura. I just hiked around the Columbia River. Ooh, over the last 2 weeks. It's unbelievable. That's where I grew up, brother. Did you go out to Mount Hood? Hood River is one of my favorite little towns out there. Did you go there? A lot of windsurfing out there. I remember 7 years ago when me and my ex broke up, I was lonely and upset. A month after sitting and thinking, I realized that the breakup was a gift. I realized I actually dodged a blank. Well said. Hey, by the way, I am John. Have you gone to Multnomah Falls? There's also a nudist beach out there called, the hell is that called? It's like right before Multnomah Falls. Gosh damn it. It starts with an R. Be careful, lots of Skittles. They are not real friends, PH. Facebook is the biggest fraud out there. Fraud book. In your family, did you apply spare the rod, spoil the child? No. But I was the father that was a disciplinarian. If you got out of line, I was the one that I wasn't the friend. I was the father. I was the parent. Where she was, she was that person. Gone with John is back. There you go, brother. I missed the outdoor videos. I'm going to do one this weekend. I think I'm going to go back to Park City and ride a different trail. Good to see you, brother. Hope you are well, staying cool, pressure washing, getting that mist back in your face. You guys want to learn how to build a business, go to Gone with John's other channels. Learn how to build a pressure washing or a soft washing business. My ex-wife has hundreds. Oh, yeah. Mine's probably got 2,000 of them. It's all it's all just a big flex for these gals. That's all it is. I'm setting my ways too. I've paid my dues with absolute crazy babes. Loneliness is awesome. Nothing wrong being alone, that's for sure. Some of my greatest insights and contentment was me being alone on the mountain. On the mountain. Or just me and my skateboard and I. Or me and my bike and I. Dick was an incredible original MGTOW monk, alone in the wilderness, Alaska. Look it up. Oh, check it out. You guys ever see Into the Wild? That one movie Sean Penn made about Alexander Supertramp that went to that abandoned school bus in Alaska? Watch it this weekend. My ex is going to be pumped and dumped into oblivion. Sit back and watch. Box wine and cats for $300. Oh, she's so unattractive too, Jawara. Please go away, that demonic Swift. Let's face it, Joe Biden barely knows what he's doing right now. Yep. They're saying he's going to retire, but he's still very defiant. Who knows? We'll see. Been to John Day. Yeah, I used to go camping there in Scouts. Never been to Mitchell, but like Hell's Canyon area. John Day's got some good stuff. Hell's Canyon is obviously towards Idaho. But John Day's got some good areas. There's some good camping and hiking. You used to go out there with Boy Scouts. Past John Day's got, and then you got, and then you're coming out where the river begins to end, Hermiston and Boardman and things like that. But there's really nothing out there. Past John Day, there's really nothing out there. Unless you get to the very end of Oregon, which is Pendleton, LeGrand. Baker's got some good stuff, but it's more like, hunting, lots of elk hunting out there. And it doesn't have the greatest topography. But I'm glad you're out there, JC. No, I am John's out there. JC is asking me, gotcha. Prenups mean nothing. A judge can overthrow that. You guys understand how much power a judge has? Look what happened to the Donald. They're getting passed around, those scooters, aren't they, Wolf? Disciplining your kids means, yeah, disciplining today is not accepted. That's why we have so many Skittles kids, non-binaries, liberals. And they give them trophies. Mysterio, we connect with the opposite sex and disconnect as well. Why is that the deal? I just think our natures are so different. We only want one thing. Baker has the gold. Baker, Oregon. We used to stop there when my parents and my siblings and I would go to Utah. We'd always stay in Baker. We'd eat at the Blue Moon Cafe. It's grown a little. Around here, it's New Hampshire's mountains and Maine's coast for nice, cheap, fun getaways. Attaboy. Guys, you could go traveling for so cheap. It is so cheap to travel. Unless you want to stay at resorts and get all glitzy and all that crap. You can travel for dirt cheap. Beautiful areas. Sleep in your damn car or a tent. Met a woman today that was feminine and sexy. She hadn't been touched by that bad bitch. Well, bookshelf, be careful, brother. But yeah, there are a 1% to 2% out there. Metal Gear. There you go, Christian. Every man loses to the power of a judge. Judges always rule to women. It's all about who the judge knows. That's why you need the most powerful bulldog attorney, because he knows the judges. He knows the judges' birthdays, kids' birthdays. He knows the names of all of the judges' grandkids. Probably, Wolf. I think the promiscuity is probably worse now, but probably similar into the free love movement. Peru would be great. Been to Colombia. Never been to Europe. Someday. Never been to Europe. I want to visit Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. No desire to go to China, Japan, Europe. I want to go see Europe with certain countries. No desire to go to Russia. Not the fact that I don't like Russians. I don't know. It just doesn't like the North. Maybe Norway. No desire to go to Iceland. I don't know what's there to do there except sit in like a huge like natural thermal water. Want to go to England. That's where my ancestors are from. Spain, Portugal. No desire to go to France. Not the fact that I don't like French people. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll just get a bus and for 2 months just drive to every damn country. I don't know. Switzerland doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I'm more on the off the beaten path. I'd like to go to Bhutan. I don't even have a desire. Really, I mean, I'd love to go to India to experience the food and the culture, but that's a long flight too. Who knows? I might change my mind. We need a mullet heavy metal dance party. Invite some loose women from the new. We need to do that for the Revenge of the Nerds. Lambda, lambda, lambda. Actually, I always thought about, this is funny that you said that. I thought about years ago when I was married, like having a pizza restaurant that served really cool pizzas, big slices, and played metal all day. Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Mr. Big, Great White, Rat, all the classics. Just old school. And maybe one night we'd have like an alternative night. Smiths, The Cure, New Order, Joy Division. And then a punk night. Danzig and, Misfits and, all the cool punk. TSOL, GBH, Exploited. I think that would be fun. Mix it up. And it'd be punk rock pizza for Punk Rock Day. Butt rock for hair metal, and then alternative. But that'd be kind of fun. Serve some cool like old like retro soft drinks like Knee High and Big Red. Big Red's the old what was that? It was like a red vanilla drink. And then maybe have a little skate ramp inside it where you could skateboard or something. That might be too loud though. But just, and some cool old arcade games like Donkey Kong and Centipede. A woman by the name of Faith Evans destroyed 2 lives. Yes, she did, Rich. X-Mask is back. Good to see you. Said Guru has great advice. Is he the Indian guy that's, I think I've seen quite a bit of his stuff. Yeah, I've watched some of his stuff. We have 0 indie rock places around here, only Jacksonville Beach, while Station missed those places. Man, if there's actually a place down here that plays metal, and I like going there. But again, the audience, and you guys that are 45 and older, actually 50 and older if you think about it, because butt rock was, I'm kind of on the tail end of the butt rock eras, but a lot of the guys over, let's say 47, most of them are probably just miserable in their marriages or something, or they feel lonely if they're divorced and they don't want to get out. So who knows if it'd make money. If I had a lot of money, I didn't care. It'd just be fun. Have some cool, like old couches. Just chill. Faygo. The soda pop Faygo that the Insane Clown Posse likes to drink. Yeah, me and my buddy Jack always laugh about Faygo. Were your kids rebellious? No, they were good kids. They got great grades. They were in competitive leagues. They graduated They all went to college. Rebellious. My daughter was very rebellious, very disrespectful, told me to F off. Her mother never did anything. But what do you expect when there's only one parent? I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad cop. But you guys, this has been a great chat. I got to get back and doing some work. Remember, when you feel lonely, it's because you've given power away to somebody. bring the power back because you're the only one that can keep that power. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Go out and have a great time. Let me just check 2 more. Good to see Slam Cave. Check out Slam's channel. He does some good stuff. Did you get bored of banging your ex? Yes, I did. But I still loved her. Or I thought I did. I am John. I took karate for a year 15 years ago. Would highly recommend it for guys. It's a great workout. I agree with that. I think an aggressive sport is good. Good to see Sound Engineer. Haven't seen you, brother. Hope you're doing well. He's out in Eastern Europe. Good to see you, man. I was thinking about you the other day. Like, where's our brother been? Hope he's still good. I guess it was made famous by Insane Clown Posse. Jiggle. What's his name? Only one tours now because the other one's like really sick. Guys, it's been great. We'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Have a great weekend. We'll see you. Hopefully I'll do one on Sunday or whenever. I'm out.